What what different element does Anu bring to the table as a quarterback compared to some of the other guys?
I think he has the best understanding of our system, and then also probably the best understanding of defenses, which you would expect because he's got a little more experience. But he's got he's got a pretty good grasp of what we want to do, and then more than anything else, being able to see the field. So I think getting him every I think this week is better than last week. Every day we practice gets him caught up on his reps.
Is leadership right now kind of internally more important just in times like this?
It is. I think certainly it is. More so than when they're outside the building, outside the practice field, outside the locker room, outside this thing, when all the outside noise. That's, I think, when you need some good leadership.
Is Colorado a good example of how quickly things can turn around?
Sure, but I think it probably was turning when a lot of people didn't know. It was not just last year, but 2 years ago when they were just growing up. Their kids were growing up in a system. But it can. I think you see that. I think in several programs throughout the country, unless you're a traditional brand name that's always there. Sometimes you'll take a few lumps before you get it built where you want to.
Does the recruiting process change at all during a season like this?
Oh, I think you're probably talking more about opportunity and immediate opportunity. You probably talk that a little bit anyway, but certainly I think you probably say it more as a coach, or saying, "Geez, we could use your help," and they probably can see that.
Are there some guys that are more focused than others, and how do you get about getting everybody?
That's a fair point. I think they've all seemed pretty focused to me, but I could be getting tricked too. But when I'm around them, they seem pretty focused in practice, and they seem it in the weight room. But again, I'm not around them off campus, so I couldn't tell you that. But they've been very attentive and act like they care. But I want everybody to kind of care at a high level, and I'm not naive to think that everybody cares at the highest level, like a Parker Zellers or Nate Phillips or somebody like that does.
Is practice like business as usual today, or are there certain things you're working on to try to get things going?
Yeah, it's Tuesdays are always pretty energetic, and it was last week too. So that didn't seem to relate to the game performance, but Tuesday's a pretty good work day, and we got some work in.
When you look at some of the numbers of your offense, passing yards or top receivers, et cetera, they're just not what you're used to or what you've had here previously. When you look at that, what is your reaction to it?
Oh, I really haven't looked at the numbers, but I don't have to. I know it's not good. And, some of it's been the interchangeable things at quarterback. It's hard to get some continuity probably, but it's frustrating because we have some talented guys, and we just got to get them to a position where we make some more plays.
Right. Rotating the quarterbacks, do you plan to continue doing that in this game? Or?
Yeah, it's going to be a field thing, and I couldn't tell you who's going to be the first one out there. Right now it's back and forth with Brandon and Anu.
Obviously the turnovers is something that you've talked about, not getting them or giving the ball away, et cetera. But the effect that has on field position, how does that impact play calling, certain things you can do, et cetera?
I've never ever had a year, even in some of the tough years before, that we had this few of 3 and outs and this few turnovers, and that's obviously affected field position. And I don't know if there's one particular reason. It's just it has played a big impact, and hopefully we can change that in the last 3 games.
So probably obvious, but you're calling different plays if you're at the 50 versus your own 5.
Yeah,
right?
you're a whole lot different, and it's just we've remarked it during the games. Like, gosh, whether it's just a special teams thing or a turnover or whatever it is, them controlling the ball, it's just hard to start your average field position way back up, and ours is probably one of the worst in the country.
So when you get into a situation like this, a lot of people say, you should just play all your young players because you're just playing for the future. How do you weigh doing that versus trying to win.
Yeah, I think
Right now.
you're just trying. I mean, the message to the team is that you're trying every week to win, and to be fair to the seniors and to the program, you try all you can to win. Now that doesn't mean if they're not playing well enough to win, you don't play the younger guys. But I don't know if you burn a red shirt at this point for a guy just for 3 games either. But I don't know if we can play any more young guys. You look like, particularly defensively, there's a whole bunch of young ones, especially in the secondary.
Brandon hasn't missed as much time as Anu, but was there still an adjustment coming back from even missing kind of that short?
Yeah,
period?
he looked rusty to me a little bit, and that's probably understandable at some point. But he's a competitive guy. We got to shake that off and just play better.
Okay, guys. Thank you.